Welcome everyone to episode 178 of Just Joshing. I am your host Joshua Pantellaresco. I write stuff and podcast too. Today is my final Creative Inc. podcast, and if I'm being honest, my favorite conversation this year so far. And this was a tough one. I was thinking about this today. I have some really great conversations. I've had some great conversations. Mika DeLuey still puts a smile on my face just thinking about it. I've had some great conversations. Tim Chismar coming up is a really, really fun conversation. I had a Sweet and Salty Summer. It was awesome. Forthcoming, Sophia Evangelina is definitely makes me hopeful for basically tomorrow, because it's like someone that bright that's amazing. But Ellen Michelle, my current guest today, is probably my favorite conversation this year so far. And the reason being is I am very fortunate that I get to talk to people doing amazing things, but very few of them are this openly honest about how passionate they are. Ellen's just unfiltered, she wants this. I can tell just talking to her for 5 minutes, she has a plan, a goal, a vision, and she wants it. There's no hesitation, there's no doubt, and I was blown away just how much I could feel it from her. And there's one part in this conversation where I'm like, "Why are you crying?" Because she really wants this, and I love talking to people like this because for me, I love people that are willing to follow their dream. A lot of people don't have that courage. This podcast is always a reminder to me that there are people that are going for it all the time, and no one encapsulates this better than her. So let's get to it, shall we? I wouldn't feel great about it. I'm turning the recorder on, by the way, so it's okay. It's okay. So if there's anything incriminating you want to actually say, right? Let's start with make it good. Make it good.
Oh geez, no, nothing incriminating.
Nothing incriminating. No baby seal clubbing. No puppy stepping on. No stealing candy from babies.
No, I love my puppies.
I'm not talking about your puppies.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a grin on her face. It's like baby.
Don't hurt my puppies.
I'm not gonna hurt your puppies. No. So how you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a crazy weekend, as con weekends always are.
Yes,
but
they are.
Good.
I made my table. I'm so happy.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
I love that feeling.
Yeah. Well,
It's not cloudy anymore.
You know,
it had to settle.
Yeah. It's just the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking a little bit about horrible water experiences before the show started to air. So I think I have her beat because I live in Toronto, and it's really hard to top what I did in Toronto with. But that's another story for another day. So you are not. Oh, actually, I should ask it. I don't actually know this. Did you write stuff at Once Upon a Time? Because you are now an editor, reviewer. You're kind of taking over the world now, right? So.
Oh, I don't know about that. I have many unfinished drafts.
No.
One thing that I always tell my clients is to never start self-editing until you finish a draft. But I cannot turn off my editor brain long enough to finish a draft. I can't help but self-edit as I go. I do exactly what I tell my clients not to do. So I have a lot of unfinished stuff, but I have accepted that writing is not my calling, but helping other people improve theirs is.
That's fair. But so you have tried dabbling in it at some point.
I have dabbled, I have tried, and it's not my forte.
It's kind of like a Ouija board for you. The answer is no.
Yeah, I'm a much stronger editor than I am a writer, so I will stick to what I know.
So how'd you stumble into the editing?
That's actually a really good question. I started my undergraduate degree at Kwantlen Polytechnic University, and I was doing a double major in English and psychology because I thought psychology was my calling. And I was about halfway through the degree when I realized that the science-based psychology classes that were required for my degree were just killing my GPA. My brain does not compute science that well. And yeah, so my GPA was falling and I wasn't happy about it, so I decided to make a switch. And I was just one semester away from finishing my associate's degree, which is the first half of an undergrad. And I started looking at English departments at other universities because I figured, okay, if I'm going to drop psych and keep my English, this would be a good time to start fresh somewhere new surroundings, new setting. So I was looking at English programs at a few universities, local and not so local.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was looking at the Simon Fraser University website, I clicked a bunch of random links on the English department website and randomly stumbled onto their publishing program. And I started reading about the publishing minor that they had, and it sounded so great and so interesting. And the next day I had applied for transfer, and a couple weeks later I got my acceptance and I got my graduation from Kwantlen, and about 5 months later I started at SFU with continuing my English major with the publishing minor and thinking about the master's degree. And my very first day at SFU, I walked into a publishing classroom and the instructors started speaking. I was like, I am in the right place.
That's an awesome feeling when you get that.
Yeah, but it was completely by accident. Like, I was always in love with books for a few different reasons. I was always an avid reader, but I never thought about books as a career because they were always just objects that I had around me. I never thought about what went into making them until I randomly stumbled on the publishing website at SFU, and it hit me all at once. Like, of course, books. I need to be doing books.
Nice. So I have a theory. This is my theory with people.
Okay.
A lot of people struggle with what they want to do. And I came to the conclusion a long time ago that actually the truth is people are already doing what they want to do. Most of the time it's just recognizing it for what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right?
That's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah. And kudos to you for being smart enough to recognize it when you saw it. Some people that takes years. Like, I'm talking like late into their lives to realize this. And you did this, I'm going to say early 20s, and I'm hoping I'm right on that.
Yeah. Early 20s.
Yes. Because otherwise, she probably could kick my ass, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to actually this podcast evolve into just her hideously beating me. There might be a moment I enjoy it, and then it just all goes ditto. But
you're lucky you're correct.
Yes. Tears, thank you. But no, it's just one of those things where, I mean, that's like knowing what you want to do in life at a very young age is actually a huge advantage. A lot of the uncertainty that a lot of other people struggle with most of their lives, you just will never have that at all.
Yep, absolutely. And when I started university, I thought I already had that with psychology because I wanted to teach psychology. I thought that's what I needed to do, and I've never lost that love of teaching, and I still intend on doing that, but now in publishing and editing instead of psychology. I just had the wrong subject matter.
No, I actually was thinking when you were talking about psychology, like, she would be an amazing teacher. I actually had that thought.
That is part of the life plan.
Yeah.
So
well, it's funny because I just interviewed like a creative writing teacher literally about an hour ago. And we were talking about this. But this is what I did. So when I was in high school, I was very fortunate in the fact that I had some really amazing English teachers, and I had some really amazing other teachers as well. And I made it a point when I actually got my first book published, I found all but one. I'm still trying to get to that one. Because his name is so common. He's not on the web, and the phone book, sharp M in the phone book. That's a lot.
Oh, geez, yeah.
That's a lot of sharps and M. And I do know he knows I appreciate it. It was funny. It worked out for me where someone was taught by him, found my post on Facebook and goes, "Does anyone know how I can get a hold of him?" He talked. He's like, he's grinning that you're actually doing this as a living, and I know he knows I thank him. I still want to give him. I gave every one of them a copy of the book as a thank you because teachers are very good teachers, and I know good is a very relative term, but the teachers that actually go out of their way to care for their students and go out of their way to encourage them to go and develop, they're one of the most underappreciated resources.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
And I was really lucky at SFU. I had a great mentor, Suzanne Norman. She was that first publishing instructor I had at SFU, and since day one, she's been so supportive. She helped me with reference letters, and she helped me with my application to the master's program, and she takes me to networking events and things like that. So when you find that one person that is just willing to go the extra mile to help you achieve your dreams, it's amazing.
Yes, it's actually incredibly life affirming. It's like, you can do this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So you're actually almost teared up a little bit.
You know what? That's not the first time that has happened when I talk about.
No.
She's helped me so much in my career, and honestly, like, I would not be where I am if I hadn't met her.
Yeah.
So
I had a very interesting thought into my head as we were talking here.
Okay.
She's like, uh-oh, where is this going?
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah. No, it just this might be like picking your children. So if it is like picking your children, I'll understand.
I don't have children, so we'll see where this goes.
Yes. You have a lot of like this is the impression I got when I met you, and this is the impression I definitely have now of you for sure. Now that I'm actually talking to you like a lot more, you have a lot of, your goals are very multifaceted.
Yes,
right.
That's very true.
Right. But I'm so my question is, and this is the thing, what actually excites you more? Because but I'm going to be legitimately honest with you. At some point in the future, you're going to have your own publishing house. I can actually see that with you.
Well, yeah, it's launching in a few months.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Yeah, but I mean, no. I'm not talking like what you're launching, what it will become.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it being a very big operation for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the vote of confidence there.
Yeah.
But yeah, my goals are definitely multifaceted because I do my freelance editing work and I'm launching this company, and I hope to get into teaching as well, obviously, and I do a lot of different things, but they're all related.
They are all related. So the question I actually was getting to is this, right? Which is the one that actually excites you more? Because I get the publishing thing for you. This is my gut. It's a challenge for you. And I think you're the kind of person that enjoys the challenge and the thrill.
Absolutely.
Right? But I mean, and as much as it's about your love books, it's beyond that for you. It's just, can I do this? I think I can do this. I think I will do this. And that's legitimately, that's my impression of you. And but the other part of that is, so you get like, would you be satisfied if all you did was publishing, or would you have to teach? Is there a line for you? I guess is the question I'm getting at.
That is a good question. So everything that I do is related. Everything I do is to do with editing and publishing, especially in the realm of speculative fiction, but especially within the realm of Canadian speculative fiction. So really, if I'm teaching or if I'm editing or if I'm publishing, the reason I'm doing all of these things is to help promote Canadian creators, whether that's artists, authors. I want to make books because I want to help promote local authors. I want to edit because I want to help authors achieve their dream of being published. I want to teach for the same reason, helping others realize their potential and get published or become an editor, become a publisher. The underlying idea between every single career choice I have made since I discovered publishing as an industry has been to promote local authors. I run a book review blog too, and I only publish content from Canadian authors and Canadian publishers, small publishers, independent self-published authors, because the big five don't need the marketing help. And I work for the traveling bookstore, Mythhawker, that does the exact same thing. Every single career choice I have made has been to help promote local authors. That is why I do everything that I do.
One tiny thing. Hello, Miss Sarcastica. Nice to see you. Pat Welling.
Yeah, shout out to Pat, because also she's definitely another one of my mentors. She has helped me tremendously since I met her 2 years ago.
It's because Pat is probably one of the sharpest businesswomen.
Oh, absolutely.
I've had the pleasure. She got me. She knew she was able to get into me in the sense that she figured out I was a gamer. And that's why I was like, oh, I know what you'll like, and she was right. Damn.
Yeah. No, Pat is a fantastic human being.
Yeah. No, she's a great human being. But I mean, it just for you. I don't know Lizanne very well. I don't. But I've heard the name. Like, and it seems like for you, it just seems to have all worked out in the sense of you've met the right people at the right places at the right times when you've done this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've been really, really lucky with the people that I've met at the times that I did.
Mm-hmm.
I have a set of amazing mentors that have helped me along the way, and I hope to be that person for someone else down the line.
So where does this love of Canadians specifically? Is it like a patriotic thing? Is it like...
You could say that. Mostly it's just that we have so many great authors and artists in this country. It seems silly to go elsewhere to get the content to publish.
I agree. I would go so far, like, and I've lived in the States. I've lived here. No hyperbole. Canadians are some of the most talented people in the world. Not just like in the world, because I've been very fortunate. Like, I've done 160 plus episodes of a podcast, and I get to talk to amazing people. About 90% of them are Canadian, and like 60% of them are from Calgary alone, and they all are doing these amazing, incredible things. And I look at that and go, this is unbelievable. And I feel very fortunate in that sense, because it's like I get to meet these incredibly driven people doing amazing things. You're going to take over the publishing world at some point. You're just laughing at me. It's just, I also know that there's probably a little check mark in the back of her head. It's like, yes, maybe, right? But
we'll see where it goes.
She's not denying it. So. But it's like one of those situations where I get to meet these incredible people, and I think the biggest crime of a lot of people is more people do not know that this is out there, in some cases right under their nose.
Exactly. And I've always been a big promoter and a big supporter of local businesses, and authors are small businesses in themselves, honestly. So I like to support local business, local author, read local. I love that movement, because we should be reading the people in our community, just like we want to shop at the local grocery store and the local farmers market. Read your local author. Like, go to author reading events in your city and just take in all of the amazing content that is surrounding you in your immediate area.
So I got an interesting question.
Okay.
So Miss Publishing Industrials, what would you do for a local Canadian author who's trying to get his name out there? What would be a suggestion? The reason I bring this up is you're talking about the concept of it's not even so much supporting the business. You're also, one of the goals you're going to be working on is changing perception, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So my thinking is you must have some ideas already in your head. So I root for a lot of people. So we'll just say, for the sake of argument, Adam Dries. Adam is an incredibly accomplished author. He's a very, very driven, amazing human being, and more people should read his books. So what would you do hypothetically to help that? And then maybe Adam's maybe a bigger name, somebody smaller. Let's say a guy like Ron Bender, maybe somebody like Zoe, the person that I'm sitting beside with right now. What would you do?
Well, those are all very distinct examples of people, so I definitely can't give a blanket answer for all of them. But it depends on their situation, where they're at, and where they want to be as well. Like, if an author wants to just write their books and sell a few to their friends and family and at local events and go nowhere further than that, absolutely. Do that. That's fantastic, as long as you're meeting your own personal goals.
Absolutely.
I don't want to push anyone to do more than they're comfortable with, or more than they want to do. If they want to do more but aren't comfortable, then I'll help them push that boundary a little bit. But it totally depends on their personal goals, where they want to be, what they're doing, if they want to self-publish or publish traditionally. Like, there's so many different ways to go about this industry, which I think is great, because then each individual person has their own path.
Actually, that is an interesting thought. I think personally, one of the things that's going to change very soon, if not already, is the fact that the self-publishing and publishing, I think that line is going to be eventually, in some ways, completely eradicated. Because I think the only thing really stopping the self-publishing industry from being recognized as more, I guess I'm going to put quotation marks on this, legitimate, is simply the fact that there's no standard model or a standard presentation. Now, sooner or later, somebody's going to solve that.
See, it's that lack of standard presentation that is the problem, because a lot of self-published authors, like Adam, they do it really well. They hire editors, they hire cover designers, they hire professionals to help them with that, and they put themselves out there in terms of marketing and promotion and going to events. So Adam Dries is an excellent example of a self-published author doing it right and doing it well. But there are others who refuse to hire editors, either because of budget constraints or because they don't want to be edited, or they try and design a cover themselves and they're not an artist. Like, I hate to say it, but people do judge a book by its cover.
It's
and
true. Absolutely.
it's those people that aren't putting everything that they have into it that make self-publishing that's why self-publishing isn't quite a legitimate thing, because people aren't doing it how they should and making their book the best possible version it can be. And that's all an editor and a cover designer want to do for your book. They don't want to change your story or anything like that. They just want to make sure that you're putting out the best version of your book.
So this is my thing, because I'm going to be playing in the self-publishing realm. I'm going to be experimenting personally myself with a couple things. One of them is digital distribution. Mm-hmm. Like, that's something it's an experiment. I don't know if it's going to be good, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. She laughs a little at that, but it is the thing. But the thing is, I feel it's something that needs to be tried, because we live in an age where I'm recording this conversation with you on the phone.
Yeah.
And that's the medium today. So that at some point has to be tried. But the real goal is I want to be better than what's presented. Because the true way that self-publishing conquers that line is they show consistently, always, that they are on par minimum.
Absolutely. And that's how self-publishing should be. You should want to put out the best version of your book. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise, like, if you just want to have print versions of your book to give to friends and family, that's great. But if you're actively self-publishing, and if you are advertising yourself as a self-published author, and you are trying to get your books out there, you should want to make them the best version possible. And that includes hiring an editor and a cover designer to help you do that. If you're not good at marketing, self-promotion, you hire a publicist. Like, these people do these things for a living for a reason, because they're good at them and they want to help you. Like, I edit because I want to help authors realize their potential. Because for me, and I've said this in a couple panels at Creative Inc. this weekend, for me, when I'm editing for an author, I'm not just editing the piece of work that's in front of me. Every comment and every suggestion that I make on a manuscript is meant to help the author improve. I'm working with an author right now on his book 2 in his series, and the difference in his writing from the draft of book 1 to the draft of book 2 was just incredible, because he took my comments and suggestions from book 1 to heart, and he implemented those suggestions while he was writing book 2.
Yep.
So he learned from that process. And that's what I aim to do when I'm editing, because it's not just about the manuscript that's in front of me. Yes, largely it is, and the suggestions and comments I'm making are based on what's in front of me, but it's also for the purpose of helping that author learn and grow and develop as a writer. That's what's important to me.
I can tell.
I get pretty passionate when I talk about these topics.
It's good. I mean, I just almost feel bad. I'm making you cry almost a little bit over there.
I am not almost crying.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not. Yeah, it's just you might see it. Yes, sir. Actually,
I love what I do. I do it because I love it and because I want to help people.
And I think you're going to do great at it.
Well, thank you.
I really do.
I sure hope so. I put a lot of myself into what I do. So
I had this conversation. I don't know if you heard it. Like, someone came by and she was talking about being reluctant to submit stuff out there. And I said, the hardest thing as a writer, and I'm imagining this is also true as an editor, is the fact that when we write, it's not the worst stuff we're doing. It's the absolute best stuff we can do at that moment in time, which is why rejection hurts so hard.
Absolutely.
Right? And that passion. With an editor, that's a little different though. I mean, not because what you do isn't always visible. You're not designed to be visible. You're designed to help enhance what is there.
Exactly.
Right. So for you, first off, I like seeing the passion that visible on you. It's awesome. It means you're going to be good at you're going to damn well do your best no matter what.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. I can see that, which is awesome. But I guess this might be a hard one. It's like, how do you measure the quality of your work? Because that's a hard thing to see as an editor. You know what I mean? Because it's not as defined, I guess is the word, or quantified. So how do you know you've done a good job? Like how does that work for you?
And this might be different for every editor, but for me there are two things. The first thing is receiving an email from an author I've worked with after they've looked over the edits and having them just appreciate the work that I've done. I had an author recently, I did a critique and a light copy edit on his novel, and he sent me an email about a week later, just shocked at the amount of detail that I was able to find. And it's things like that where the work is truly appreciated. It's because it's one thing, yes, okay, they paid me and that's a form of appreciation because they value my work in that monetary way. But again, I really want to help the author grow, right? So them being able to see the amount of work that I put into it, and it's just, especially with that one, because it was a light copy edit, so I changed a few commas, I fixed some spelling errors, and I caught a couple things that were missed in the stylistic stage. And the appreciation that he showed for that was, like, that's one thing that gets me, is I know I've done a good job when the author can see the improvement and the work that I've put in. But the other thing is definitely when that work is accepted for publication somewhere. I do a lot of work with short stories. I'm always telling my writer friends to submit to anthologies and things like that. I have a friend of mine who I edit short stories for free, and she gives me art for free because she's an artist. So we have this agreement that we just trade our work because it's easier than paying each other all the time.
Yes.
So we have this balance, and I've edited a few short stories for her that have then been accepted in anthologies, and that feels really good because I know that I've helped her get there. And again, with her, because I've edited so much of her work, I see the improvement with every new story. Yeah. And that's validation for me because, again, they see, like, I'm able to point out those things that they might be doing wrong consistently, and then they're able to take that into their next work and improve it and just grow as a writer. And that's definitely my own validation as an editor, is seeing my authors succeed overall. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So you're secretly taking over the world of publishing. So tell me a little bit about your master plan.
My master plan? Oh, geez.
I make it sound so nefarious.
Well, I'm launching a new publishing company this summer in a few months. It's called Constellate Publishing, so keep an eye out for it. In August, I'm launching an e-zine project, a monthly subscription short fiction thing. So every month there will be a new short story with a whole bunch of awesome art and author interviews, artist interviews, things like that going along with it. And I've been thinking about that project for over a year now, so it means a lot to me to get this off the ground. And
does it feel so real yet? Like the reason I bring that up is because it's when you have something like in your head and then all of a sudden it's real. There's that moment where I don't believe it's real. You know what I mean?
It'll come in August, I'm sure, after the project has launched and I see it live and I see hopefully subscriber numbers rising. That'll definitely happen. And I definitely want to. I'll be doing print anthology projects as well because I, for some reason, am also in love with project management. So anthologies combine my love of project management with my love of editing and helping authors. So anthologies are really my passion. And definitely I want to do some novels later on, but probably not right away unless the right one comes along. So that's what Constellate Publishing is going to be, and yeah, I'm still going to continue doing the freelance work because I love it, and I have a lot of really great clients that are continuing to come back to me, and continue running my book review blog to promote Canadian authors.
That's going to get difficult. I mean, it's already probably gotten difficult now. That's going to get really difficult to maintain eventually, because it sounds like you're going to have a very, very full plate.
Oh, absolutely. But once I have that, the company up and running, and I have that kind of steady schedule going where I know what projects are coming up and I have a better flow, then eventually I'll be able to hire people to help me. And
like I said, man, she's taking over. But I mean, that's okay. No,
maybe one day. No, the dream is definitely to have a full staff helping me with these projects, because they matter a lot to me, and like I said, my goal is to help promote local authors, and I'm going to do everything in my power to do that. So, and another part of that is also helping new editors and new people coming into the publishing industry. So I fully intend on hiring interns from my university and things like that, people coming into the industry, because I want to help grow the publishing industry, I guess. I don't know.
Sounds awesome. I'm rooting for you.
I have some pretty big goals, but it's one step at a time.
That's right. So, I think I could be wrong. I think we have an okay interview here.
All right.
I made you tear up a couple times. we plotted world domination of the publishing industry, at least in Canada.
Yes.
And no puppies were harmed in the making of this interview.
Good.
Yes.
Love the puppies.
Yes, right. So, how can people find you, and where can they go, and what can they do?
How can people find me? Well, my freelance website is ellenmichelle.com. My book review blog is sqsreviews.com. Once the publishing company is up and running, it'll be constellatepub.ca. And all my social media and everything is all linked onto my website, so just go there and find me and chat. I'm always happy to talk with people.
All right. Before I wrap up this podcast, I'm going to mention another friend, because I promised I would. My friend Peter Chakowski, most known for the comic Raw Paper Cynic, has these great little postcard-sized short stories at shortstory.com. He's doing a Kickstarter about them right now called Postcards from Impossible Worlds. They are written and they're going to be voiced by Cecil Baldwin. He's already hit his goal, which is, I think, really, really cool. But now he's into his stretch goals, and there's some amazing ones up there. So I'm going to encourage you guys. One, he's a tremendous creator. Take a look at his stuff. The Kickstarter link for him will be in the description, so take a look at it there. But look it up, Postcards from Impossible Worlds. That is what you should look up on Kickstarter. Donate, help support a great thing. Peter's going to be on the podcast soon enough himself. Speaking of the podcast, I want to go back to Ellen Michelle here real quick before I wrap up. I really wish more people were like her, and because it's not that she has vision and drive and goals. It's she wears her passion on her sleeve. She's braver than probably 90% of the people out there, and probably she's listening. She's like, "No, I'm not." It's like, "No, you are," because so many people have these I've talked to a lot of people. There are people that really want it, and there are people that really want it, and I know she really wants it, and I believe it, and hopefully someday, somewhere in the future, you get the opportunity to work with her, because that kind of passion you're gonna get good things. You just are. So, if you're a Canadian author, submit your work to her, because she is amazing, and she's an awesome. She loves what she does. And really, what more can you want? And that will do it for this episode of Just Joshing. Now, to support the podcast, you can do a couple things. You can subscribe to it. Either through Podomatic or iTunes. You can leave a review. If you like the podcast, please leave a good review. If you don't like it, don't tell anybody. It's all good. I understand. All seriousness, any review's good, bad, or indifferent. I don't mind. You can buy my books. Watch Your Storm Dancer, Wandering God, courtesy of MirrorWorldPublishing.com. You can go there. You can go to Amazon, Kobo, anywhere books are sold in brick and mortar, you can get my books. I would love it. Read them. Same thing. If you like them, post reviews. If you don't like them, don't tell nobody. Beyond all that, I have my YouTube channel, Joshua Pentellaresco. There are currently 98 episodes archived, various episodes. Definitely take a listen. Subscribe to my YouTube. That'd be great. If you don't do none of those things, that's cool too. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you again. Dream with your eyes wide open. Have courage. Be passionate. Try to take a page from Ellen Michelle's book. Be this openly passionate about everything you do. It will draw good things and good people to you. All right? All right. See you next time.
Josh.